Sunday afternoon in Workington, Cumberland. Another part of the north of England where mining and Methodism put down roots together, producing grey and sober Sabbaths that live long after the pits have closed and the chapels have emptied. But here it's different. There's a rival religion, rugby league.
As a spectacle, the conditions are going to be against this game. Of course, it's going to be a very tight game, as Warrington lies 7th in the First Division of the Rugby League, Workington Town lie 9th, and there's only 1 point separating them. And for both of them, today is going to be a really important game.
Its band of disciples may have dwindled since the game's heyday in the 40s and 50s, but their fervour is undiminished. For them, the perversion of the game the rest of the country sees is a glossy heresy, a mere extension of television show business, which rests not on skill or muscle, but on the jokey matiness of up and unders and early baths. They gather on these grey winter Sundays to celebrate a game that's very different from that. A game that's a way of life. For all the shouts of town, town that urge Workington on, it's a village way of life that they're celebrating. The game took root as an amateur village sport up here, far to the north of its Yorkshire-Lancashire heartland, perhaps brought by miners from further south, who came to work the region's pits, which briefly flourished earlier this century. These villages may have lost their gantries and their shafts, but the rugby posts remain, a testament to the men who dominated the game in the 50s, when the British tour of Australia had all the appearance of a Cumbrian package excursion. 2 of the players in that British touring side came from this village, Elmborough Moor, Andy Key and Ike Southwood. Their devotion to the game remains as fierce as ever, leading them to frozen touchlines in search of talent for their beloved Workington.
From this village team on Elmborough Moor, you could have 60 lads playing. Out of them 60 lads, there was 4 out of that village played at Wembley. 4 lads out of one street. I would say it isn't 3/4 of a mile covered all of the village. About 4 years playing with these lads, as these lads are playing today, we were playing at Wembley, you know, 19 and 20-year-olds were at Wembley. Big occasion.
I was signed for Workington too young, I think. Well, there, what, just after 17, eh?
No, I was there 17, just before I was 17. Ike was very fast. He had a hell of a lot of speed for a boy. And I was big, about 13 and a half stone at 14, you know, 5'10". So I think it was my size that got me on a bit at the start. We progressed, I would say, from a tin to a pig's bladder, and then I got this ball. And we used to take it, we're that proud of this ball, we used to take it to school with us. And we're walking up from Maryport to Elmborough this day, and it went over, there's a river just runs through the town here, River Ellen. And it went over the bridge into the River Ellen, and we had to follow it, I would say went about a mile downstream, chasing this. We got it out of the harbour at the finish up.
There's a few guys lost some tins like, wouldn't there?
That ball meant everything.
That ball would have drowned for that ball, yeah.
Well, I finished up, I jumped in the muck with him, didn't I?
I think we're both crying anyhow.
Up to the waist.
We were both crying because we didn't think we were going to get this ball back. That was a bad pass. Never made another bad one after that.
Workington's current scrum half, Arnold Walker, boxer to town supporters because of his tendency to transform handoffs into punches, is a younger product of the same village tradition.
I was a mascot of Kells Rugby League, and that's how it all started. I was a mascot and used to follow them likes of Paul Charlton now. It's my captain at Workington. Well, I was his mascot when he played for Kells. It's unbelievable how we should be playing together now, you know, because, you know, I was his mascot at 6 or 7, and then it just developed from there. I got signed on for Workington when I was about 18. My mind's in sport, but there isn't enough money, say, for rugby league players to know, if they were getting gates like football, 50-odd thousand, then you could easily turn full professional. But when you're only getting gates of 5,000, that's why we're only semi-professionals.
Boxer used to be a miner at the Hague Pit, the only survivor of the once fertile Cumbrian coalfield. Now, like a lot of other Cumbrians, he works at the Windscale atomic energy plant.
There was a lot leaving when I left the pits, especially a lot of single lads that were fed up with pits and they wanted up in, you know, the fresh air. I think that's the main reason why a lot of people leave pits, because they want above ground.
Alan Banks, the team's hooker, has resisted the fresh air and high-wage temptations of Windscale and is still a miner. But he mines iron ore, not coal, in the country's sole surviving iron ore mine, Bekermet.
Third generation, like. And my other grandfather worked at the mines, so it's in the family, you know, so, you know, hope this place will stop open a bit longer, like.
Old, decaying industries like this have never been top of the wages league. But once the rugby pitch offered something more useful than a pocket money bonus. Now Windscale and the general rise in working class living standards, together with a decline in rugby league gates, have brought the game's rewards down to the level of a handy extra. Players get a minimum of £15 appearance money, up to £30 for a home win, and £40 for an away victory.
And the money in rugby league in them days, I mean, a fella couldn't earn as much during his 7 days down the pit. And I think that had a big, you know, the money is good, but it hasn't advanced the same as what wages has as in a job, you know. And I think a lot of lads are looking and they say, oh, I can work a weekend, why should I go with the 18 for about £12, you know, when they can earn about 50 or 60 working a weekend. So I still think you've got to be dedicated to turning for an 18 game for £12 when you could earn 50 or so.
My first pay for Workington as a kid, 17-year-old, was £24. We had a good win, £24. My father, he was working at gasworks at Maryport. He'd be working 7 days a week for about £7 or £8. Not a bad kick, man, not a bad kick.
When we first started, we were picking that money up and we were getting about, what, maybe £6 a week at work. Aye, 1.5 hours pleasure, eh?
1.5 hours pleasure, and you were making the money, you know.
The rugby pitch has for players and spectators alike been a way of escaping from the sweat and toil of Workington's heavy and demanding industries. Steel, like so many of these industries, is in decline. And perhaps it's no accident that the region's one brief spurt of prosperity, the 50s, was also the decade in which the town's rugby league club was a power in the land. Today, that's all changed, and the brickbats for town's more indifferent performances find their way to the team coach, Sol Roper, a crane driver at the steelworks and another veteran of the 50s team.
Tackling was rubbish for a start, like, absolute rubbish. One or two players just didn't move into left gaps and stopping them. What's the fight for the spots about? Oh, it's the trouble. We haven't got enough competition.
Don't for two this time. Come
on, let's move it. Come on.
Come on, let's get a lot of
Come on, Davey, you should be down now. Come on, let's move it.
Come on up. Come on, let's go, come on.
Sol escapes from some of the pressures of coaching, with its fierce demands of success at any price, via another Cumberland sport, hound trailing.
Now then, Arthur, what do you fancy?
He no longer owns a dog, but he still prides himself on being able to pick as good a trailer as he can a prop forward, even if he treats the prop forward a good deal less tenderly than the dogs.
Yeah, I backed the favourite, Glenvale. And they're out now for about 29 minutes. And then, if it comes in first, I'll be paid out. If it doesn't, I've lost my money. I've had a dog myself. I haven't got one now, but I haven't the time now. I just do the work that's necessary with a hound dog. Walking them, getting them fit. It's too much work. I haven't time, you know. Training one thing or another like, and we start training in end of May, and we just haven't the time. Have no time to keep going on with them.
Come on, move it up the back, come on, pick it up a bit.
If you train the lads and you train them well and they're playing well, they're just the same as a dog. They want to win.
Come on. Come on, let's go. Come on, pick him up. Come on, let's move it. That's better. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on, Arthur. Come on, boy. You can do it. Right. Right. Come on the track. Right through the water. Come on.
You know, lots of people have dogs and they never win a trail, but they still carry on because they love the sport. You know, look at them there. There's one. Look at this one coming here. That one there. We look if it finishes. Look at that now. No, you know, they still keep the dogs, and it'll probably never win one. Gary, what's up with you?
You've had this a bit then, Jim, eh?
Yeah, about 1957, 6
58, I would say that was playing for Wembley, I would say. It was in Cup run, that, wasn't it?
Well, if you remember, road grounds they were frozen up, and we went on there. It was only, well, that's why we got fit. We were only on training in north of England.
You used to take me out, you see. You got so used to it that you used to suggest it, didn't you?
But that's what happened there. The road grounds were frozen up, and we went and trained. Leeds never where they couldn't train at home. We could.
But you enjoyed it,
Oh,
didn't you?
we did.
And you worked hard, there's no doubt about that.
They dwell a lot on the past. Glories that were presided over by this man, Jim Brough, coached during the 50s when the club dominated rugby league.
I'll tell you something now, there's nobody could have put more effort in than these lads did then. They loved it. And the fact that they were going to be fit enough to beat anything they came up against. You enjoyed yourselves, didn't you?
The only trouble is, Jim, you wasn't part with money.
Oh.
They kept knocking it.
They kept knocking it off us.
Just as much as you worked for.
It would have been worth a bit, then.
For crowns off.
Never. Crowns. What about the extra bonuses? The more points you scored.
Aye.
No, but you knocked it off. You started handicappers.
We're on five bob a point, and we started knocking a few 40s up, so you knocked it down.
And bonus went for a bowler at it, Southport, didn't it?
Yeah, but you never asked for a transfer, did you?
No, it's true, that.
We were happy to.
Although Workington Town was only founded after the last war, by 1951 they'd won the Rugby League Championship and a year later carried off the cup at Wembley. Brough took them to 2 further finals and then took almost a third of the side with him on the Australian tour.
You remember At the start of the 58 season, you were in that physiotherapy room, the whole lot of us. And I said, get your skates on, lads. There's a tour coming off at the end of the season. You said to me, we've no bloody chance, we're too far away. And I said to you, I was a bloody side further away at Sylloth. And I got into the rugby union international team. Eh? I went to Sylloth Council School, not Oxford or Cambridge. If you want to get in away...
listen, I agree with you. All I didn't leave them, but I'm on about the present.
So what happened? You listened. And 4 players went from here, and I went as coach. Right?
Oh, I had six altogether, wasn't it?
Yeah, you got your skates.
Oh, aye.
And you were winning your matches, and we went through how many without defeat?
22.
And what?
That was a post-war record.
Got into both finals, eh? And if there'd been substitutes in those days, we might have won them both.
Could have done, aye. But you said players could be made now, same as it were before.
Yeah.
I disagree.
No.
It's a different type of life altogether.
It isn't. I wish I had my bloody time to come over again, I would show you.
Well, I'll tell you something now. You had to wait for the first pan of chips, hadn't you, in them days? Yeah. In a family. You had to run home to get the first pan of chips. Now, what do you do now?
It doesn't matter. That shouldn't make any difference. You're in a better position to do better now.
Well, aye, I know, but the whole attitude is too casual in life and in sport.
Can you tighten your elbows up so that your arms look twice as long? Don't hang them. Now remember, Blackpool, you only have one chance. And... now, follow your line. These 2 boys come training with Ike as a rugby lad in the morning and go away to competitions in the afternoon as a ballroom dancer. The only thing is, they've got to decide sometimes, do they come to rugby or do they go to the actual ballroom competition? 9 times out of 10, bless them, they do go to the ballroom, but they're sure they would prefer the rugby field. No prize for being the best individual dancer in formation, it's teamwork. Now think about each other, give consideration to the little ones. That's better.
Renee Anderson, the club secretary, a splendid feminine exception to the aggressive masculine rule of rugby league. On the day of the match, this time against one of the big names in the league, Workington, she presides over the club's generous pre-match hospitality, organising it like some chapel at home, rather than the brief, polite prelude to a bruising encounter. Mrs. Anderson, however, takes good care to stay away from the dressing room before the kick-off, where the language says a lot about the pre-match tension.
Let's play as a pack, not as individuals. Ian, let's hit some backing up. Get on Harry's bloody behind now. John, make them bloody spread and move up together. Now let's get back to the start of the season form. We must have these 2 points. Now forwards, it's up to you now to get a grip of their pack right away. Because this is where their strength's going to be at today. So as soon as this ball's played up today, lads, you've got to get up and move into them. Now don't let them run till like we were last week. Now spread it, play the ball and move up in a line. And if we do that, there'll be no bloody gaps appearing. But last week there was all sorts of gaps. The week before there was the same. Now quick play the balls and double up and act in the half-back. Because this Dalgreen, this is where he'll come from. So Banksy, you'll make sure this acting half-back's double up on, eh? Because Dalgreen's going to be coming here all the time. It's going to be a bad wind, lads. So stand close together and make your passes close. Again, we've got the bloody wind, let's use it, eh? Let's use it. No play now around 25. Down that bloody field.
This is indisputably male territory, with the club's 2 directors, Tom Mitchell and George Graham, turning up at this late stage to check on their investments.
Make sure.
And they offer that boardroom advice that players tend to treat with either a mutter or a shrug of the shoulders.
Oh, Christ.
Right, come on, lads. Right, men. Ben, you've heard what your coaches had to say. Fight till the day that we win. You've got a new man in your team. He's used to getting shot of the ball. So be on his arse, someone to take it. 50 quid clear to win. Now get out there and win. All right? Come on, men. Righty. Come on, lad. Come on, everybody around this table. Where are you? I don't know where it's going now. Come on. Come on, lads.
Listen, lads. If we go behind there, which we will not, we're going to fight like Now, come on, let's get into them and beat the bastards! Come on! We're the boys, you make no noise!
This win by Workington then really accentuates Workington's problems. It's town's fourth consecutive defeat, and as Workington made 8 changes from the published side, Workington must be wondering what went wrong. Not a very impressive showing by Workington.
You only get out of life what you put in. If you're not prepared to put it in, you won't get it out. That's it. That's what I think. If we lost, we're ashamed to walk up the town. That town was dead till about Wednesday. You know, I started to think about the next game, but everybody was in the dumps when we lost. I don't think it's taken heart so much now, but I don't know, times have just altered from then. Even if you're going down it, a big thing is how you go down. You've got to go down fighting. But, we just have to pick ourselves up off the floor again, and next week's another team.